Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ. And looking at the BCS rankings before hopping into this next matchup, up against Maryland, number 15. So if you look at the teams above us here in the BCS, Michigan beat Michigan State last week by 10 points. So they are number 1 in the country, jumped Alabama, who's number 2, and they had a bye last week. So they're going up against LSU this week. I'm not expecting them to lose at all this season, to be honest, because if you look at their schedule, I mean, they're in the SEC. They do finish the year off against Auburn, so maybe that's a game they can lose, but Auburn's still ahead of us as well. And let's look at Auburn. Let's see if they have anybody they can lose. So possibly they could lose to Georgia this week. We'll have to see, but they're ahead of us as well. But Michigan State is actually ranked behind us right now. We're number 6 in the country. Michigan State's ranked 7, but they did lose to Michigan this week, which is the number 1 team. So they didn't lose that many points, BCS points, but they are going up against Ohio State this week. So maybe that's a spot where hopefully Ohio State wins that game so we can jump Michigan State here. Iowa, on the other side of our conferences, they're up there. They're number 3 in BCS. They're undefeated, 8-0, number 3 in the country. If you look at the rest of their schedule, they do have to face Michigan, the second to last game of the year. That's going to be a great game. I would love to see that game. 8-0 versus, who knows, Michigan. They had to face us before that, so you never know what's going to happen there. And Clemson is ahead of us as well. They have Florida State this week, so that's going to be their toughest game for the rest of the season. And that's pretty much our competition that's ahead of us for the national championship. But first, we do have to make it to the Big Ten. I am getting a little ahead of myself, but I mean, it's good to think about this stuff early, what we need to do, what needs to happen for us to reach the national championship, because that's our next goal. We won the Big Ten championship. We won our bowl game. Now it's on to the next thing, you know, so let's just hop into this gameplay, man. Going up against Maryland. We're actually on the road, and Maryland always gives us a good game. And remember, they just won their last game. Who did they beat? They beat, let's see. They beat somebody. I know they beat somebody. Let's see. Let's go to Maryland here. So they beat Ohio State last week, gave them their first loss, and it was a 1-point win. I mean, that's a close game, 30-29. How does that even happen? 30-29. But man, let's just hop into this gameplay. I know it's gonna be a good game. Ever since I adjusted these sliders, it seems like the game is more fun. It's fun again. I mean, when I was blowing teams out, it was not fun at all. I mean, I don't like blowing teams out. I like there to be close games. I like when it's good defensive games, when the offense shows some versatility. That's the main thing. I mean, the play call has to be diverse. Otherwise, you just catch on to computer tendencies. But definitely the last couple games, I haven't been able to catch on. They haven't been running as many screens. But that's a good thing. So let's hop into this game. Yo, I can't lie. It's going to take a lot for me to get to the Big Ten championship. A lot's going to have to fall in my favor. Michigan's going to have to go down. I do play Michigan next week, I believe. And then Michigan State's going to have to lose another game because they own the head-to-head versus us. And, I mean, everything is going to have to fall our way in order for us to get to this Big Ten championship. We are ranked number 6 right now, 7 in the BCS. But, I mean, a lot of stuff has to fall our way, and I don't know if it'll happen, but I really hope it does, because I'm trying to make it to the big game. We haven't made it there yet, and we're in our 3rd season, almost a 6-star school already. I mean, the progress we've made has been remarkable. I mean, look at our team. We are surrounded by a bunch of playmakers, and Devontae Williams getting into the end zone on the first drive of the game. But like I was saying, man, I mean, the Big Ten is just a powerhouse, and it seems like all of our teams are ranked. I mean, I beat Rutgers last week, but Rutgers is no scrub, led by Kareem Walker, and he had a huge game versus us. And, man, let's just hop into this action right now. So Indiana gets the ball back after stopping Maryland on the 3rd down, forcing a punt. So Peyton Ramsey finding Joe Richard, baby Gronk over the middle for the 10-yard gain. And we do get to a 4th and inches situation, but we do give the ball to Devontae Williams up the middle. So Peyton Ramsey drops back, finding Wilson over the middle. Michael Wilson's been a pretty good outside receiver. He doesn't have the speed, but he just finds a way to get open for us. He's a great number 2 on the left side of the field. And initially I thought I was going to have him on the team to basically go up and get a bunch of passes, but I mean, it has been the case, but he's shown to be a really, really good route runner. And Peyton Ramsey taking 2 sacks in a row, so we do have to settle for the field goal, and we start this game up by 10 points at the start of the second quarter. So they have 2 impact running backs, McFarland, and they have Lorenzo Harrison, so they use them pretty heavy. I mean, look at it. Here's Harrison once again getting past the 45-yard line, up into enemy territory. But on a 3rd and 9, they attempt to go for another screen play, and this time we're going to get to McFarland. Burgess is going to be there for the tackle, so they attempt a field goal attempt. This is a very, very long field goal, but this is wide to the left, so we take over here, getting past the 50-yard line on a Devontae Williams handoff up the middle. So on a 2nd and 8, a lot of options here open, and Joe Richard gets the ball open past the 40-yard line, and we do get it to a 1st and 10 here. And then this is a power option to the left. Ferguson gets the ball. Dave Ferguson, the freshman, he can do it all. He's got 9 receiving touchdowns on the year, 1 more to double digits, and Devontae Williams continues to pound the ball versus Maryland team, and he's got 40 yards rushing up to this point right now. And we haven't really used him too much this season, not as much as years past, because now we have a passing game. We don't have to rely on him as much, and Dave Ferguson gets that 10th receiving touchdown on the year. And what a big feat, especially for a freshman, to get 10 touchdowns in his freshman year as a receiver. And we are up 17-0, 2 minutes left in this half. Maryland with Kasim Hill is going to drop back and get that one past Rutledge. But look at that spin move. That's like a huge spin move on my true sophomore cornerback Marcus Rutledge there. But on the next play, Marcelino Ball is lurking on that one. Kasim Hill cannot get it over the top of the safety, and look at that catch, man. Pirouette in the air, comes up with the grab. So we have over a minute left to score before this half, but that was a great play that time by Marquise Bell, and they force us to punt the ball away, but we get to Hill on that one. Too much speed off the edge, blitzing Riggins on that one. So on a 3rd and 13, 20 seconds left in this half, they're trying another screen play, and that's not going to do it. So that's going to take us to the second half. So Maryland does start the ball off in the second half, and Hill is finding Patterson over the middle, beating the man coverage. So they kind of they're not out of this game, but they have an uphill battle to climb. So here they are getting past the 50-yard line up to the 35-yard line. So on a 1st and 10, giving the ball to Lorenzo Harrison, and Marcelino Ball comes up with the big hit on that one. So they're facing a 3rd and 8 here, getting it to McFarland on a screen pass, but this time McFarland breaks it loose, breaks the tackle in the backfield, spins his way into the end zone, and they're right back in it, down 10 points. And that one's McFarland. They have the 2-back system going, and pretty much this whole game they've just been using those two, McFarland and Harrison. They've been just getting the ball back to back to back on every single play, and Devontae Williams just proves that he is a beast, still a beast. Even though he doesn't get the ball as much, he's still running over defenders, getting first downs. And here is Walt Failure, who earned a spot on the receiving rotation, and look at that perfect throw over the top of that defensive end, trying to bat it down, and Devontae Williams finishes it off. So now it's back up to a 3-score lead here in the third quarter, and Hill's going to take over. Play action to his receiver, to his running back there, finding his tight end Noah Barnes across the middle of the field, and here he is giving it to Lorenzo Harrison, finding another hole. I mean, they're not bad. It's just that Hill doesn't make good decisions at times. So I mean, stuff like this. I mean, it's an easy screen pass, but sometimes when he throws down the field, he just doesn't make a good decision. But Hill is gonna have a good drive here on a 3rd and 11, finding Harrison, but a great tackle that time by Richie Simmons to avoid the first down. But quick studio update. Look at Rutgers. They're on their way. I try to tell you guys, they're 2-6, but that's no 2-6 team. They're just playing in a tough Big Ten conference, and look at that. They're on the road in Iowa, about to upset them. So on the other side of the Big Ten, it's going to shake up some things, because there might be a Wisconsin, a Northwestern that might be behind Iowa that might take over that top spot in the conference standings. You never know. But Devontae Williams back to the game, getting in to the end zone. So now it's a 21-point lead here in the 4th quarter. And Brandon Wilson, haven't seen him in a couple games get in for a sack, but this time he shows some contain on that one. Hill can't get out of the pocket. So on a 4th and 14, he's going deep, Hill is, and he throws this one to Andre Brown. There for the interception, getting to the 50-yard line, and Hill has thrown 2 picks in this game. Like I said, when you force him to throw the ball down the field, he makes those mistakes. And look at, speaking of mistakes, on the first play of scrimmage, getting the ball back off that turnover, they play press coverage. That was a cover 0. So I audible to verticals. I mean, that's an automatic audible to verticals. Michael Wilson is open for the touchdown on that one, and that pretty much puts this game out of reach. So with 5 minutes left, they're just airing the ball out, trying to get some points on the board, running these short passes, and Hill is at least converting on these easy throws, but he gets it down to a 4th and 11 inside the red zone. But he's gonna find his receiver Capehart open in the back of the end zone, but they have one last chance on an onside kick, and Michael Wilson is there for the recovery, and that one is going to take us to the end of the game. Look at how we finished off this game. 3 touchdowns in a row. So, I mean, this was an easy victory. This is a lot easier than what I thought it would be. Maryland has always been a good team. They're ranked number 15 in the nation, but they can't get it done this time versus the Indiana Hoosiers. Michael Wilson with a big game, receiving the ball over 100 yards, especially with that big receiving touchdown he had for a 50-yard gain. And on defense, Marcelino Ball continues to ball out. Everybody on defense actually played pretty well. We only had 2 sacks, but that's because Hill got rid of the ball pretty quick. They were running a lot of screens, running the ball a lot. So we didn't really get to the quarterback, but Ramsey shows some accuracy once again, 20 for 26. So hit subscribe, hit that like button. You're not going to want to miss next week. Going up against Michigan, Jim Harbaugh in his territory. Let's go.